Parenting a toddler doesn't have to feel chaotic. Montessori principles have completely transformed how I parent my 14-month-old, and they can change how you parent too. I've been using Montessori parenting principles from the beginning of my parenting journey, and today I'm going to share 4 Montessori principles that help make toddler life calmer and more joyful. Let's start with the first one, respecting your child as a whole person. As parents, we often don't take time to think about how odd it can feel to our child to have things done to them that they don't really have warning for, such as diaper changes, going on an outing in the car, simple everyday things. Yet things like narrating what we're doing, letting the child know what is going to be coming next, things like that can really demonstrate respect for the child, even though they might have limited cognitive capacity to truly understand what's going on. Even just us explaining it to them can help them feel more peaceful and even be more cooperative for the things that we're doing. Getting into the habit of this now while your child is young and maybe don't fully understand what you're saying is really helpful, because then you'll be in that rhythm when they're older and really can grasp what you're saying and where they're going. The second Montessori principle that has really transformed how I approach parenting with my 14-month-old is fostering independence. As much as possible and as much as is safe, I try and let him do things for himself. I try and involve him with me in the kitchen, doing laundry, cleaning, things like that, to help him start practicing some of those skills and begin to develop inklings of independence in doing those things. He's 14 months old, so when I involve him, it takes longer, it's messier, does not always go as planned. And involving our children in practical life now empowers them to embrace those tasks when they're older and can actually do it well. This is not to say we must involve our children in every activity that we do, even if we just have them play near us while we're doing something and we talk to them about what we're doing, or maybe we have them practice scooping or pouring a smaller scale item while we're cooking, so that if they do make a mess, it's not a very big one. The third Montessori principle is observation over intervention. I read the book, The Montessori Toddler. I will link it in the description box below. And one of my biggest takeaways from that book was the phrase the author said, help your child, help your toddler as much as necessary and as little as possible. That phrase in and of itself has really impacted how I approach parenting my toddler, because I've realized, and I think that this is something that many of us toddler parents can find ourselves doing, is that we will help our children more than they need. This Montessori principle of observation over intervention really encourages parents to pause before intervening, aside from an obvious safety concern. But aside from that, if they're trying to put on their own shoe, they're trying to climb up to the couch and you can tell that they're really close, sometimes just hanging back for an extra minute and letting them try can really help them feel empowered. Our children are much more capable than we often realize, and sometimes they just need the space to figure things out for themselves. You may think, well, what if my child really does need help? I would encourage you to not worry about that. Our children are great at trying things and persevering, but then they are also really good at letting us know when they want help. The fourth Montessori principle that has really transformed how I approach parenting my 14-month-old is to respect your child's natural pace. Toddlers are amazing at being in the present moment. They are so observant of the world around them. And as parents, we have so many things to do, so many things on our minds, places we need to go. And so it's not always perfectly feasible to slow down and go at our toddler's natural pace, because to be honest, if we did that all the time, we would really not get much done and we wouldn't really ever go anywhere. So what this is emphasizing is, as much as possible, move at a slower pace. Toddlers want to try things, they want to participate, but part of that is allowing them to do it at their own pace. Another element of this is respecting your child's pace is to follow their natural curiosity. I can't tell you how many times my son, I wanted to do an activity for him to practice a particular skill like scooping or pouring, and it does not go as planned, not because he makes a huge mess, but because he decides he wants to do something else with the activity. He's not interested in scooping and pouring things. He wants to stir them. He wants to put containers of the small bowl into the big bowl. And so I am learning to kind of step back and let him explore and be curious about the things that he wants to, even if that's not necessarily the idea that I had in my mind. The way Montessori is portrayed in many aspects of social media is it can be very curated and it can feel very all or nothing. And I encourage you to consider how you can incorporate aspects of it. It is about finding what elements of Montessori work for your family and what elements of it you would like to incorporate in raising your toddler. I don't narrate every single diaper change. I don't let my son give him a heads up for every single time we leave the house, because I'm a human and I forget. In an ideal world, sure, I would do those things every single time, but I've just kind of let go of that expectation on myself because I just know it's not possible. The goal is awareness and making small shifts over time that we want to make, not shifts that we feel that we should make. On that note, of these 4 Montessori principles that I have talked through today, which one stuck out to you? Which one did you hear and think, ooh, I want to try integrating that in how I parent my toddler? Let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.